That's a good question. Okay, give me a second to think about it. Okay.
I'm Carisha Swenson with House Beautiful, and we're building the dream in Colorado.
Probably my whole entire life, I knew that I wanted to be an interior designer. That's all I ever built with Legos growing up. But I took kind of the sort of corporate marketing path for several years. And finally, I kind of realized like I have to do design when I got caught at work multiple times working on interior design side projects for myself and my friends instead of what I was supposed to do. Just over 6 years ago, I quit my job, blew our lives up, started this business. And for the first 18 months, it was wild and tumultuous and very bad. And here we are now. I've been really excited to decentralize my way of thinking about design outside of the Western European canon of design. I think a lot of the ways that I've been lucky enough to live in San Francisco have really influenced the way that I think about how so many different cultures can come together. I am designing the downstairs lounge and hangout space. I'm super excited. Basically, it is a fireplace lounge area sitting next to a very open concept space in which I'm putting together a conversation pit that meets like board game and puzzle table surface. I'm here today shopping for fireplace tile. I knew right away that I wanted to work with Fireclay. I just really think that the company represents so much of what the concept house is about and also what I think is really important in partnering with a business. A lot of Fireclay's product uses recycled material, and also besides being really good to the environment, I love that they're a benefits corporation, which means they're also really equitable and good to their employees. So like honestly, what's not to love? You can take a pattern and it's kind of like a color by number situation where every single chunk of glaze, you can choose from so many of their different glaze colors. I knew that I wanted to work with pattern tile, but that doesn't really narrow things down. So I started off with just things that I loved. So I love their Old California collection, super Mediterranean inspired, really beautiful, but it didn't really represent what I wanted this Denver house to represent. And that's when I really started thinking, well, what is this home a part of? And this concept house is a part of this incredible community that's going to be coming up that's really around living off the land, about being sustainable. The light bulbs went off and I was like, oh my God, of course, I have to work with the Agrarian collection. They just basically create tile patterns that are inspired by the farmlands of America. So think about when you're flying over the farmlands in this country and there are gorgeous patterns in the ground that have been created by the way that farmers organize their crops. I just really love the idea of when you look at the fireplace, one of the things that you're reminded by are these motifs that are basically showing off the way that farms can be really artistic and creative and inspiring. That really got me excited. And then I wanted to combine curves with rectangles, and that was super exciting as well. One of the things that's really amazing about working with Fireclay is if you think that your pattern is going to work out and you think that the way that you've organized all of these glazes will work out, they then send you a sample of the thing that you thought was going to be amazing. And so here's mine. This is just a quick preview of what we have going on. And maybe something like this will end up in my fireplace. I don't know. I was really excited about doing a bold neutral overall. We started with this wallpaper from Philip Jeffries. It's from their new Africa collection. It is the Cape Town finish. So we have actually a couple of custom furniture things coming in, and all of our materials are super neutral except for one pop of color, but it's not going to be major. I just, the idea of the space being cozy was such that I wanted everything to be cozy. So not just visually cozy, like you look at it and you just want to flop down and cuddle, but I also wanted all of the materials once you got in there to really invite you to touch and enjoy. And also in my space, we have a lot of windows. So working with the shade store, we're gonna be doing, again, a warm neutral that's still visually interesting. Most of the drapes will be this lighter material. And then we'll just have a pop of weight and a pop of visual interest toward the floor that also breaks it up because this and the floor color are gonna be a little more similar. So having a darker value separate those two adds a lot of weight and drama and heft to the drapes. And I'm so excited. I couldn't stay away from really big pops of color. Our seating in the fireplace lounge part of the house is actually vintage. And then we also source this vintage Moroccan rug. And then anything else is pretty much made to order and meant to be a special sculptural piece. I wanted to showcase these amazing circle lighting pendants. And then from my own personal background, I'm really excited to have a live edge, gorgeous bistro table that is going to be sitting in a surrounding low seating conversation pit. And that table and the low seating is inspired by the way that a lot of Japanese families have centered around tables that actually have heat underneath, called kotatsu tables. Okay, I have to admit, I've been really nervous about sharing the same room basically with me and general design. Like, you know, we wanted them to coordinate, but we wanted to each stand out in our own way. And I just had no idea if it was going to turn out. And now that I'm here, it's just incredible. I cannot wait for you to see.
Welcome to your space.
Thank you. This is so exciting.
So what do you think? I mean, what are your first impressions?
First impressions, I'm like, oh my God, we designed a really cute space. But it's just, I mean, it's amazing, right? Like we designed all of this completely remotely, just from plans and pictures. And it looks like the pictures.
Let's start with some major things here. One is this entire moment behind me. This is like not subway tile.
No. We had a little bit of fun with our fireplace moment. I love working with Fireclay tile in San Francisco. They're so amazing. So I took inspiration from lots of different places. We are exploring 1970s conversation pits, meeting Japanese sitting on the floor with a kotatsu table in the center. So there's all different inspirations that come into this custom concept piece, which hopefully is going to be also an expression of how can you have seating that looks as cozy as it is also gorgeous. Because I think finding the perfect balance between inspirational to the eye and being super cozy and inviting to your butt is a big deal.
I'm not gonna lie, when I saw all the colors that Noz had specified for that fireplace surround, I wasn't sure how it was gonna look, but it's so amazing. She's still got a lot to do to pull this entire thing together, so while she's finishing all that up, we're gonna go check on that table of hers that she's having made out in California.
From Washington, D.C., and now we're here in Richmond, California. We do quite a bit of cabinetry, you know, interior, any kind of interior millwork we do, staircases we do, furniture we do quite a bit of. Wow, I feel like we built basically everything at this point. Anything made of wood we have done. The manner that Noz and I developed it, and then just the working relationship and the way that we collaborated really did develop on the fly. The kangotatsu, which is what she calls it, it's a play on conversation and kotatsu. The techniques that we used were, number one, they were very controlled on one aspect, and in the other aspect, there was chaos thrown in because it was a chainsaw. It was grinding away. It was trying to make these organic shapes and balancing them out with something that was very geometric. I think that if we had planned this and actually laid out every line before, it wouldn't have been as interesting. From the actual start of when I had the timber and the lumber in my hands to when we actually had this whole piece loaded up in the box truck, it was 1 month. I think I'm happiest when I'm shaping. I'll buy a timber, and the timber has rough edges. It's all rough sawn. And then from that, I'll plane it and join it so that it's all a perfect square or a rectangle. And then from there, make it as abstract and amorphous as possible. Extracting the shape that I'm visualizing from that solid block is my favorite part of this. I think patience and humility is probably a really important thing as far as doing anything, but as far as the woodworking goes and learning how to do this, it is that. It's patience, humility, and a lot of sweat.
Okay, so here's a fun new update. The Kanvatatsu, our custom furniture piece that is 9 feet in diameter, is almost done. It's looking amazing. But yeah, your girl totally didn't think about how am I gonna get this from California to Colorado. We only have a couple of days left, so there's really no time for me to schedule a shipper. So to be totally honest, I think I'm just gonna rent a U-Haul and drive it overnight myself. It's like 18 hours. That's what Google says. I've never driven that far before, ever. But we got to get it done. So let's just get it done.
So this truck has made a journey across 5 states, and quite frankly, I can't believe everything made it here in one piece. So that's a preview of the table. It's spectacular. All of this is made out of solid walnut, and then the butterfly joints in the middle are maple. I had 2 pieces made by Lena Similu in Los Angeles. What she does is these incredible porcelain and ceramic pieces that are all inspired by fertility masks and fertility urns from West Africa. So this piece is actually a vase. Even if you never put a plant in it, it's amazing. And we have 2. I was so lucky to get to work with her for this space. Ugh, amazing. It's perfect. I can't. It's like so good.
Okay, we are almost done. But we need more board games and more puzzles, so Carisha and I are gonna go shopping.
Okay, so here we are.
Amazing.
That was such a good shopping trip.
We got so much done.
So much. And now we can actually get this room complete.
So excited.
Wanna hit it for me?
Sure. I need this trunk in my life.
I know.
This is so nice.
It holds everything, right?
All right, the place is all done. I can't believe it. Are you ready to see?
Oh, okay. Wow, I mean, I know you talked about a gathering spot, but this is really it.
Thank you.
We're obviously kind of focused on this moment right here. Now that we have furniture in here, what was the beat?
I really wanted this room to be both energizing and relaxing. For me, relaxing is about being cozy. It's about wanting to just flop onto your seat and like just chill mentally. And that doesn't necessarily mean, oh, I wanna be relaxed because I wanna be sleepy. So I thought, why not play up the idea of how can you be relaxed while still being visually stimulated and having fun?
So when you thought about furniture in these spaces, how did you piece it together?
Especially for grandparents or folks who have mobility issues, having somewhere to sit that also allows folks to come together either in chairs or on the floor. That was important to me. And then also at the fireplace, we have these amazing Jomo furniture stools.
So I have to interrupt you completely because I love those stools.
Oh my God, thank you. I love them so much too. They're designed by Jomo Furniture outside of DC. But they're fully inspired by West and East African motifs and shapes of actual useful things.
So before we leave this area, one other thing that's kind of tripping me out is your beautiful hardware.
Oh my God, those hardware pieces, I'm not even kidding you, they are West Elm door knockers.
Stop.
Yeah. Hardware is such an amazing and super fun way for you to add your own touch, your own personality to a piece of furniture or cabinetry. For me, I wanted size. I wanted something that was really dramatic, almost like a statement super giant earring, right? So that's what we went with, and I think it worked out great.
Clearly, this is a moment, but I have to talk about this.
Let's talk about it.
So these are 2, to me, different styles of seating. Am I right or am I wrong?
Totally different spaces meant to just be, again, all about flexibility and comfort and coziness. I had so many things that I wanted to bring to the home with this piece. I was so inspired by the idea of conversation pits from the 70s, where it's really just about how do you make a space where you just lounge out and hang out and talk to one another. This is a really large house, so every space can kind of be its own zone.
Right.
But I love the idea of exploring, well then how do we make a furniture piece really versatile? So for me, that was a circle.
So another important element of this that's maybe not so common is this layering of lighting that you've done.
Totally.
Just tell me kind of where the inspiration for that came from.
I mean, I have so wanted for so long to be able to showcase that in a space that has so much room for the light to grow this way and this way. How do you actually do that without it just being a chandelier? Circle Lighting was incredibly generous to bring these amazing pendants. And basically what I wanted was, instead of one pendant, what if you just added a whole bunch and you made it really organic? So even though it looks quite organic and a little bit like, where did this come from? It's a little spontaneous. I did specifically decide exactly where every light went, and it creates an ensemble of lighting. Top to bottom, you've got the seating, the convatatsu as we're calling it, and the lighting coming down from the ceiling, and then what's in between is the stunning views.
Also, while we talk about the view, you also want a sense of privacy sometimes, and what you've done with the window coverings here is so beautiful.
I worked with the Shade Store to put these amazing drapes together on all of the windows and sliding glass doors in the space. Even though we used a lot of neutral in the room, I really do think that neutrals can be bold. They can be super playful and amazing and really fun. Something that I love suggesting for folks who have lots of sliding glass doors in particular is you don't have to think only about vertical blinds. You can actually play with drapery just like you would with a window, and it actually is really beautiful, and it's still a really easy way for you to close them shut really quick and add a lot of softness and texture to a room.
On that note, where do we go? Where should we hang out?
Oh my gosh.
We have so many spaces to choose from.
I never thought you would ask. Why don't we go here to the Convatatsu?
Okay, let's do that.
Excellent.
This looks so cozy. Well, this is definitely comfortable.
Excellent.
So, are we gonna play Jenga?
I put it out just in case you might want to play.
I want to play, and everybody might make fun of me because I don't know how to. So you start. You tell me what to do.
Pretty much, you take one of these bricks. I'm gonna get this one because it looks loose. Then you put it on top.
Oh, that's it. Can I do something bold?
Yes.
Oh wow! I'm impressed with me.
Yeah.